Hello my lovely jubblies, I'm fantasims and welcome to my channel. I love turning Sims 4 into a world of fiction and fantasy. You can find all my creations in the Sims 4 gallery, and if you like what you see here, be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell to be notified about fresh content. Many of you have requested that I do some work in progress tours because I'm notorious for building a million projects at once and never fully finishing them, and a lot of you have been curious about what I'm building, especially my Harry Potter world builds. And I'm currently working on all 8 wizarding schools. There's 11 top wizarding schools and J.K. Rowling has revealed 8 of them, and so I'm currently working on all 8 of them. So today we're going to take a look at Castelobruxo, which basically means Brazilian castle, and it's located deep in the Amazon rainforest. So when I'm done with the build, I'll probably be placing it in Selva Dourada, I think that's how you say it, on this 64 by 64 lot because there aren't a lot of big lots for me to do all 8 wizarding schools in one save file across all the different worlds. So the downside of putting it here, even though it's perfect because it's the jungle, you can't have a build on this lot as residential. It has to be rental or generic or something like that. So I will have to also create a separate little house in a different world where the actual Sims are going to live that are from this school. Now I'm actually currently building the school in Del Sol Valley right here, as you can see, because I just needed some room to be able to see the build from all angles, and as I was building it in the jungle, all the trees were getting in the way. First, I'm going to show you how I originally started building the castle, and I'll show you why I changed the design of it. This was my original design for the school because it's supposed to look like a Mayan, Incan type of ancient temple ruin, and in the Sims 4, whenever you want to build a pyramid, most Simmers will do it with roof pieces, and although that looks really cool, there was just an element of this that it didn't feel weighty enough. A lot of times when you build with Sims 4 walls and roofs, they feel a bit paper thin, they feel a bit like cardboard, and so sometimes when you're building these really dense stone type of buildings, you want them to feel like they have a bit more weight to them, which is why I changed my design, which I'll show you now. Alright, now here is my new updated version, and as you can see, this one has a lot more weight to it. It feels like it's a heavy castle because I have used these ruin rocks from Get Together and Jungle Adventure to give it that heavy, thick stone feel to it. I kept the pyramid style up at the top because this castle is described as looking like ancient ruins to the Muggle eye, but to the wizarding eye it looks like a golden temple, so I wanted to blend the two together, so I have this look of this ancient ruin turning into this golden temple. Now you'll notice on this side, this tower is a lot taller than this one, and that's because in my original design I had this entryway that you can walk through to get to the back of the school, which I'll show you in a minute. I didn't realize that this debug archway blocks the path of the Sims, and I didn't think it would because I made an oversized version up here and it doesn't seem to block the path, but for some reason it was down here. So as you can see over here, I elevated it and created an extra level, which I preferred it before, but this still works pretty well. And I use these artifact skulls as decoration around the castle, as you can see here. I love the Jungle Adventure decorations because I think they just tie together so well, and they have such a 3-dimensional stone feel to them, unlike any other pack. You can really make something look decorative with lots of detail. So I don't know if this happens to you guys, but when I create a room full of mannequins that I've dressed, I put them down on a lot, but then sometimes when I go back to that lot, all their outfits are missing, so I'm gonna have to redress them. But basically I dressed them up to be the Caipora, and as you can see here, it's got little elf ears. I used the Seasons elf hat and I dressed them up in a jungly tribal outfit, and the Caipora are supposed to be dark, mischievous creatures, but they are very protective of Castelobruxo and they act as guardians for the castle, so I was going to have them around the castle, but I'm hoping that when people download it from the gallery that they don't end up missing their outfits. And then I was playing around with some of the artifact masks from Jungle Adventure, and ignore this stuff at the front, I've just got a bunch of randomly placed things, and I wish the sun was shining on the front because it feels a lot more like a golden temple, as you can see from the back. But I don't like how in this game a lot of lots end up with light shining on the back of it, so then the front is all dull and in the shadows. Anyway, so we have these pools at the bottom with all of these ruins, and at the top of the temple I'm going to have like maybe the headmaster's office. So I've tried to stick with like golden and green colors to make it feel like an ancient temple in the middle of a jungle. And then this level, I don't know what to do with it yet. If you have any suggestions, please feel free to comment below and let me know what you think. And then here I've just laid out a bunch of the artifacts and a bunch of different things that I can use to create some statues, as I already started to create here. I wasn't sure if I wanted to make this the area where they have school assemblies. I already started to create one down here. As you can see, I've got this elevated platform, although the shelf, I use a massive oversized shelf, and for some reason it's now showing it as outdoor lighting instead of indoor lighting. And I kind of like the way that it looked, but it's not quite what I wanted. It is bigger though than this floor up here, so I'm not quite sure. Let me know what you think. And it's just got a bunch of random stuff here. And what I did was, even though the roof is right here, I put in these archways so that on the other side I can put some sort of statues that look like they're carved into the wall. And for the entrance I created this really long staircase to get that dramatic feel of walking up into the temple. And I used these wall decorations as like ancient tribal runes carved on the outside of the building as you enter the temple. And here, as you will see, this is a noCC painting, so it's not custom content, and it's created by Jules64, and she actually made me a crest for each of the 8 wizarding schools. You can download those for yourself too in the gallery underneath her page, so I suggest you go and download them because they're so cool, and I appreciate it so much that she made these for me, and for everyone else too. Oh, this was part of the reason why I wanted to delete it too, because it ends up going into the level below it, which I don't like. And then here I've just got random furniture that I might use in other areas. I do that a lot whenever I'm building. I don't have a clue what I'm doing. I just scroll through all of the furniture and decorations and just plop down in a room a bunch of the stuff that I think I might end up using. And then here I was just playing with an idea for a bed canopy, a bed shape. Maybe for one of the professors, they have a fancier bed. And then down here will be some classrooms. I don't know why, but the basement always has weird shading. I think it's a glitch. It only started recently happening the past few months. And I was thinking of turning this into like a Magus zoology class, because Castelobruxo is known for its potions and Magus zoology classes. And actually it produced the most famous potioneer, Libacious Borage. I have no clue how to pronounce that name. But anyway, and then down here I have a library that I'm working on, and I thought it would be kind of cool to turn these jungle vines into shelves. So I used Twisted Mexie's tool mod to rotate all of the vampire books and the Realm of Magic books and a bunch of other books to different angles, so that I can place them on these lower parts of the vines, but some of them will be angled sideways and some of them will be leaning in, kind of how this shelf looks with the books at different angles. So that's going to take some time, but I've already pre-rotated them and then I'm going to put them in, and I just thought that would be a fun feature for this specific castle, to have the shelves as jungle vines. And here are the different areas to get books in the library. And then of course I had to create a restricted section, so that's what I'm working on over here, and it's being guarded by these magically animated skeletons. Now I don't know if I'm going to keep these lower levels, but I really like the idea of how Hogwarts has secret chambers underneath, and I wanted to create that kind of feel for this castle too. Maybe come up with my own story for what could be hidden underneath the depths of Castelobruxo. But as far as the upper floors, the upper basement floors, I've turned them into dorm rooms. And so this was before Ladders was just released. And I came up with these little dorm rooms that have their own loft section where the kids can store all of their stuff, because it is a boarding school, so they're going to accumulate things over the years. And so this section of the dorm caters to a student that loves to paint. And so we've got the easel, and I just love cluttering things up. And I used, as the bed frame, I used these ship wheels from Get Famous. I sized them up, except on the one side it has that pink freezer bunny. You can kind of see it peeking through here. And so I used Twisted Mexie's tool mod, and I tried to shove a bunch of items inside so it looks like the student has just wrapped a bunch of their things around the post with rope. It took forever to get all the angles right to try and hide that big ugly pink freezer bunny. And then I used this campground sign as the back as well. And these are all pretty much the same. I just tried to make them look slightly different to add character to the different kinds of students that would be here. So this one's definitely a book-loving student. All these books everywhere. Have some Muggle sports equipment and even more books. And then this student loves animals, so they've got their magical creatures and a ton of cats. And then up here we've got a sneaky little cat in there. Although I'm noticing right now that there's all these weird shadows that weren't here before, so I'm hoping that those shadows will go away. And then at the end of this side of the dormitory, there's going to be some bathrooms. And then I created a loft level, and again I can replace this with a ladder if that looks cooler. And then this is just going to be a little common area, and so one side will be the girls' dorms, and then on the other side is the boys' dorms. And I pretty much copy and pasted the exact same room, so now I'm going to go through and change all these things to create 3 other unique styles with different kinds of clutter for 3 other different students. And so you access this basement level through the back, because I wanted to create a reason for these towers, why they should even be here other than for decorative purposes. So I wanted this whole area to be a walkway that Sims have to walk through to get down into the student dormitories. And then now I'm going through and putting in some plants just to make it look a bit overgrown. And that's basically it. So let me know what you think. What things do you think I should include? Is there anything you think I should change? I hope you liked this tour through one of the 8 wizarding schools in the wizarding world of Harry Potter. I appreciate you checking my stuff out, and leave a comment below if there's any content that you'd really like to see me do. And as always, thank you for your wonderful support. Love ya!